Streaming all across the country, from Washington State to South Beach and the Northeast to the deserts of Arizona, to dive into all things football. You're listening to the B&E Podcast. Here's your hosts, Ed Donaldson and Brandon Simpson.
What's good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Breaking and Entering Podcast. I'm Ed. That's Brandon. Got a Week 12 recap show for you. Brandon, how we doing today, man?
Doing all right. Victory Tuesday over here. Short week. Always want to say this on the show, like Bill Belichick said a long time ago. We're on to Cincinnati. How about you?
Bye week for us, so thankfully we don't lose those. Not that I'm aware of anyway. We'll see how it goes next week when we take on Denver when they're coming off a bye, but that's another tale for another day. Let's get into this opening drive, though, shall we?
All right, everyone. The Rams, they've awarded linebacker Nate Landman with a 3-year extension. Giants, thankfully, they have fired defensive coordinator Shane Bowen. The Raiders, they let go of Chip Kelly as their offensive coordinator. Dak Prescott, he's now the Cowboys' leading passer in franchise history. T.J. Watt, he moved past his brother, J.J., for 26 all-time in sacks. J.J. was on the call for CBS, kind of a neat situation there this past weekend. JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, he surpassed DK Metcalf for the most single-season receiving yards in Seahawks history. Of course, DK is now a member of the Steelers. Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns quarterback, he's expected to start Sunday versus San Fran. Dylan Gabriel, though, he has cleared concussion protocol. The NFL has trimmed the list of semi-finalists for the class of 2026 Hall of Fame. It includes Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Jason Witten, Vince Wilfork, Willie Anderson, Fred Taylor, and many more. Vikings quarterback, I think I lost this one, J.J. McCarthy, he is in concussion protocol as well. And the Saints, they've signed kicker Cade York following a tryout with former Raven Justin Tucker. Any thoughts on opening drive before we move forward?
Yeah, it's definitely starting to get concerning with J.J. McCarthy, just with the injuries he's getting into. He missed some games earlier this year. I think, was it a concussion? I think it might have been.
It was either that or upper body, I think, somewhere in the
I know he's missed some games. I can't remember exactly what, but now he's in concussion protocol again. As we all know, he missed last year with a torn meniscus, so it's getting kind of concerning with him and his body and injury history. And then that's pretty cool. The JSN breaking the single season record, and we're only in week 12. It shows you the type of season he's having. And salute to all the semifinalists for the Hall of Fame class of 2026. I think they showed the previous running back for the Niners last name too. I think Roger Craig was his name. Niners running back from 83 to 90. He was also a semifinalist, if I'm not mistaken. But salute to all those guys. Hopefully they can all get into the Hall of Fame next year.
Sure, looking forward to it. It's a close one, everyone, at Ford Field Sunday when the Lions and the Giants went to overtime. The home team came out on top, Ed.
Yeah, this game was a lot closer than I thought it would be. You mentioned it in the opening drive, the Giants firing their DC. Another game where the Giants were up double digits. They were up 10. The score was 27-17 in the fourth quarter. And I was thinking, watching the score, because I was flying across country to get back to Maryland for Thanksgiving, so I didn't see a bunch of these games. But I was keeping track of the scores, and I saw that. I was like, oh, the Giants might pull this one out. But no, lo and behold, Giants do Giants things, and the Lions were able to come back in overtime and win this game. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs, he only had 15 carries, but 219 yards, had 2 huge runs. One of the runs came right after, Jameis Winston caught a touchdown pass. Breaking the defender's tackle was a linebacker too, 33-yard catch. That looked like a big morale booster for the Giants. And then the defense comes back on the field, and Jahmyr was like, okay, hold my bag, watch this.
Exactly.
Takes off. And I was like, dang, man. So that was tough. And it's crazy because you look at the numbers for Jameis Winston. Yes, he did have an interception, but he almost threw for almost 400 yards, 366 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. I mean, the offense was doing his thing, in my opinion. He only got sacked one time, if I'm not mistaken. The offense pretty much did enough to win the game, in my opinion, from looking at the stat sheet and looking at the highlights. But the defense failed them. Sorry to say. A mile run, St. Brown, you're looking at the stats going across the screen, 9 catches, 149 yards. He could do whatever he wants. And it's funny, I was thinking Bijan Robinson was going to be kind of like McCaffrey this year. I mean, he kind of is, but Jahmyr Gibbs so far this year has been that dual threat type of back, just like McCaffrey, kind of better in my opinion. I mean, you look at the numbers. He also had 11 catches for 45 yards and 219 yards on the grounds is incredible. I don't know the Giants going to go from here. I think next season they'll be better with, they'll get everybody back healthy. Malik Neighbors, hopefully he'll be back by the time training camp starts. If not, I'm sure he'll be back in the first 4 weeks. And the same for the running back they have, whose names I always can't think of his name at the time. The white running back, rookie running back for the Giants. Yeah, Scatterbo. Thank you. Hopefully those guys come back next year ready to go, give the team a lot of juice. Same with Jackson Dart whenever he's able to come back. But yeah, tough loss for the Giants, man. At this point, I don't know what they're going to do for the rest of the season. Just see what they got for next year. Training staff, I know they probably looking over their shoulders too, because I'm sure they're going to blow a lot of stuff up. Training staff, front office, you name it. But yeah, good win for the Lions and Giants, just doing Giants things. Brandon, what are your thoughts though?
Yeah, so the momentum was high for the Giants in this one early on. You had the Wan'Dale Robinson catching a beauty in the first quarter. Isaiah Hodgins, he came back for another great touchdown in the back of the end zone in the second quarter. Fourth quarter, they were driving. You mentioned this one. They had a double reverse play. Jameis Winston goes out in the flat, catches it from Gunnar Olszewski. I believe I'm pronouncing his name right. He shook off the defender, ran in for the touchdown. They're up 27-17 at that point. Then, as you mentioned, the Giants defense came back on the field. Jahmyr Gibbs single-handedly won the game, scored the last 2 touchdowns, including that one in overtime, finished with a career-high 264 scrimmage yards. One of my favorite media personalities, Kay Adams, always talk about this, talk about her to you all the time. Fine, boy, fine. She mentioned on her social media, on her show, Jahmyr Gibbs is putting up video game stats, man, for real. Like, he's just all over the place. He had this game. He had the game, was it a couple weeks ago? He was he did have a pretty good game against Philly. He got going against us as well. He's just doing it, like you said, kind of remind you that Christian McCaffrey type stats and performances that we see every week from him out in San Fran. But yeah, Giants are the absolute worst in the National Football League at defending those outside runs. I know one of Jahmyr Gibbs was straight up the gut, but when you're that bad on the outside, eventually they're going to beat you on the inside as well, and we saw it in that one. Interim head coach Mike Kafka, he helped the cause too. They had a 13-play, 86-yard drive. He decided to go for it on 4th and goal from the 6-yard line. That was really questionable, and it even caught the attention of Malik Neighbors. You mentioned him as far as coming back next year. He had a tweet. He put it out on X, went back and deleted it a short time later. But anyway, that 4th down play ended up being an incompletion. The Giants' field goal, if they had got it there, if they had just kicked the field goal, it would have forced the Lions to go downfield and score a touchdown instead of a field goal regulation, which led to overtime. And of course, we saw what happened there. First play, Jahmyr Gibbs took it to the house. The Giants could not respond in overtime. And of course, everybody gets that fair opportunity. Could not capitalize on it. 5 games this season New York has lost after leading in the fourth quarter. I hate saying this because it's not what happened, but imagine if they had closed out those 5 games. Right now, New York would have been sitting at 7-3, 7 and something. You know what I'm saying? They would have been over 500. And at least in the hunt, instead of eliminated from playoff contention again. What else is new? But yeah, good win for the Giants. But all in all, good win for the Lions. But all in all, I think the Giants should have won this game. They just completely let another one go. We'll see if this Shane Bowen firing kind of boost the defense or not. I doubt it. They just have a lot of pieces on that back end that they got to fix. And I mentioned to you off script, we were texting the other day that he did not use Dexter Lawrence um, like he should have in this game. Um, Bill Carter has been below his stock, I guess you could say. He's been underperforming in a sense, a half sack and I think a forced fumble or a fumble recovery on the season. There for a while, he had like no quarterback hits. I think through 8 weeks, something like that. It just hasn't necessarily hit home. The bright spot, Brian Burns, uh, Thibodeau. I believe I want to say he might have been out for this one. I can't remember correctly. But either way, the defensive line is the one bright spot. But you can have a dominant defensive line if you don't have at least a piece or two in that secondary that can defend that back end or at least shut down one side of the field. You're going to get burnt all day because after a while that they just going to know we stopped this defensive line. We got them corners and linebackers and safeties we can beat. So yeah, a lot of work for the Giants. I do feel like they're trending in the right direction. As you mentioned, as they get some of those guys back, but yeah, they gotta figure that back end out for sure. Sorry, GM, he should be gone, but he's got to figure it out in the draft and free agency next year.
Yes, sir. All right, everyone. Before we get going with the rest of the episode, this episode is brought to you by Premium, a CBD health and wellness company. Check out their line of CBD infused products, which are a perfect after workout refuel for athletes, a pain reliever for weekend warriors, and even a natural sports drink for us armchair quarterbacks. Their featured product is CBD infused honey, which is a personal favorite of mine, as well as tinctures and mint and natural flavors. They are veteran, women, and minority owned, so come get some of this sweet invitation and taste the premium difference. Use code B and E for 15% off your order. Their website is premium.com. And now let's get back to our show.
The Colts led the Chiefs the entire game until overtime, y'all, when Kansas City went on that 81-yard drive, kicked the game-winning field goal, and it was over from there. This is the Chiefs team that we've all become accustomed to over the years, making plays when they are needed to and finding ways to win. Let's go to the fourth quarter, y'all. They dominated this final quarter regulation. 56 yards to burn more than 5 minutes of the game clock. Kareem Hunt punches it in for a touchdown there. Rice makes the play on a 2-point conversion as well. That was very key as well. Moments later, they get the ball back, needing a field goal to tie. They drove 87 yards. Bucker hits the kick to go to overtime. Indy goes 3 and out in extra play there on their opening drive. Kansas City gets the ball back, goes 81 yards to win it on a 27-yarder. I do, though, got to give some credit to Indianapolis, though. They played them well pretty much the first 3 quarters. They had, things under wrap. You had a few Rashee Rice plays, catches here and there. It was kind of that Kansas City offense that we've seen the last couple of weeks is kind of start slow. Kareem Hunt fumble, Mahomes interception, great goal line stop there at the end of regulation, which gave them a chance to win in overtime. Again, they couldn't get anything going in overtime. But yeah, back to Kansas City, on the other hand, their playmakers really stepped up. As usual with them, Kareem Hunt, 30 carries, 104 yards and a tutty. Rashee Rice, 8 receptions, 141 yards. It seemed like whenever they needed a big play on 3rd and 4th down, it was Worthy or Rice wide open. And, they talked about how they was playing a lot of cover 2. Tony Romo was on that call and Jim Nantz. And I think they went man-to-man, and it seemed like whenever they went man-to-man, it was just they had no answer for Worthy and Rice, which is it's not surprising because, that's the reason why they traded for Sauce Gardner, because they was having issues at corner. But then when you get Sauce Gardner, he still was kind of getting beaten on some of the plays too. But it just wasn't Indianapolis's day. I really don't like either team, but I really wanted Kansas City to lose. Unfortunately, I didn't get my wish. But Ed, what are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I thought it's hard to bet against Mahomes and the Chiefs, man. Like you said, the Colts had them on the ropes for most of the day, but then it came to crunch time, and it seemed like the Colts when they needed a play to happen, specifically from Daniel Jones, they were not able to make a play happen. Like you said, they went 3 and out in overtime. I think they went 3 and out on like their final 3 to 4 possessions, if I'm not mistaken. Basically, the offense just hit a complete stop. They stopped Jonathan Taylor for the most part all day. The Chiefs did. He did have one big run, almost 30 yards. I think it was a 27-yard carry. But other than that, 16 carries, only 58 yards. If they didn't get Jonathan Taylor going, I figured it would be a long day for Daniel Jones. He did throw 2 touchdowns. That's cool, but only 181 yards. And like I said, when they needed him to make a play, he pretty much didn't make a play. I was missing a couple of throws. I thought he would use his legs more. I figured that would be a good key to victory for him, but only had about 3 carries. So I think if he could have ran the ball more, kind of forced the action, running the ball, maybe they could have, got another first down here or 2 there, keep the Chiefs off the field, but that didn't happen. And then the Chiefs, man, those 104 rushing yards from Kareem Hunt, I was pretty surprised by that. Freaking Pacheco, I said, oh yeah, our preview show. I was like, oh yeah, Pacheco's probably playing. And then like the next day, I get a dang notification that he's out. I was like, God damn it! But Kareem Hunt did his thing out there. Those are huge yards for him and the Chiefs. They needed those. And then man, Patrick Mahomes and this team, man, I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, they're in a hunt. There's not guaranteed a playoff spot for them. But if they get in there, you never know, man. It's hard to bet against them, especially when the game is close. They don't make too many mistakes and find ways to win games, and they did just that. Now they're 6-5, I believe. And they still fighting on there. They got a tough task against the Cowboys coming up on Thursday. We'll see how that goes, but definitely a good win for them. And honestly, I think this is a sign of things that come for the Colts when they play these better teams or teams that are potential playoffs, persons or teams. I think they're gonna find ways to lose. I think Daniel Jones, we've seen his ceiling. I don't think he'll be, the reason they win games. I can definitely see him as the reason they lose games. If Jonathan Taylor not rushing for 100 yards and a touchdown or 2, their chances of winning these games are not good. And the defense kind of concerning me right now for the Colts as well. Hopefully they can get a little bit healthier, get some of these secondary guys back too to help with Sauce Gardner. But they letting guys rush for 100 yards on them and go for 141 yards wide receivers wise. That ain't good news going forward. So they definitely going to have to figure that out. And hopefully Daniel Jones is able to manage a game and not be the reason they lose games, which I think is probably going to start happening, especially when they play teams that are expected to go in the playoffs. But we'll definitely keep an eye on that, see how it looks going forward for sure. All right, man. You got your Ravens taking on the Bengals on Thursday. Brandon, how are you feeling about that? That boogeyman is back too, from what they say.
Man, that's where I'm starting too, man. They asked him during the OTAs when the schedule came out, what did he think about having to play the Ravens again in Baltimore in prime time? Of course, we play them twice a year, but it's been prime time the last couple years. I want to say 3 or 4. And he came back with a response to the terms of, we got to beat them in Baltimore for us to get the opportunity to host them in Cincinnati in prime time. So we cannot let that happen. We got to wreck his game plan. Another must win for us. We're in the driver's seat right now in the AFC North. Shout out to the Steelers and the Bears. The Bears for beating them. The Steelers for taking the loss. Shifts us just a hair ahead of them in the AFC North. But back to this game. I'm going to go a little over a year ago. November 7, 2024, Joe Burrow, 428 yards and 4 touchdowns. Chase, 11 for 264 and 3 touchdowns. We escaped by 1 point after a failed 2-point conversion attempt. That was a very controversial play. If you don't remember, I think Burrow hit late, and it was kind of a PI. I'm a Ravens fan. I'm going to say that it was a PI. What's done is done. It's in the past. We got the W. October 6th, a little bit more than a year from now as well. Of last year. Burrow, 392 yards, 5 touchdowns. Chase, 10 for 193, 2 touchdowns. Higgins, 8 for 83, 2 touchdowns. We win in overtime on the leg of Justin Tucker, former Ravens kicker. There's a reason why I told y'all last year he should have been MVP, but his defense let him down. This year, their defense is just as bad, if not worse. But at the same time, our offense has really been on a slump as of late. Back to them, they rank dead last in points scored. So we've got to score touchdowns when the opportunity is presented to us. We suck in the red zone right now, and we suck on short yardage third down conversions. Man, it's crazy. Third and four, third and 1, 2, 3, or 4. We suck. We damn near cannot get the ball. We cannot extend the chains or nothing. But if it's third and 5 on back, we tend to convert. So something gotta give. On Thursday night, we got to be able to convert those short yardage third downs for sure. I really love Derrick Henry, but I think Keaton Mitchell, he has the hot hand right now. It just seems like he has a better burst and he has that more east to west um, playability that I've been talking about. Last week against New England, um, Cincinnati gave up passing plays of 14, 18, 21, 24, 28, and 37. And each of those plays were against different players. So the moral where I'm going with this is the guys like Likely, Kohler, Andrews, Bateman, D Hop, Flowers, Tylen Wallace, those guys, there's no excuses why we can't put up a scoring clinic against this defense. They give up chunk play after chunk play after chunk play. As for defense, man, Matabike, he was the difference maker in both of those contests last year. Of course, he's not playing right now, so feel really good about Travis Jones and John Jenkins there in the interior defensive line. I don't think we'll have an issue with them, but we need Draymond Jones, who had a big game last week. Kyle Van Noy, I think he's coming off a sack either last week or the week before. And Mike Green, who has been stepping up over the last 4 or 5 weeks. We need them all to have their best game yet. Burrow, I think he's going to be pissed that he's been out. He doesn't like being injured. He hates winning comeback player of the year. I saw that in the Netflix documentary Quarterback, and he hates it because each of those times before he was injured. So I thought about that heading into this game. Again, hopefully the wind blows the wrong direction and Joe Burrow sits this one out, but I doubt it's going to happen.
Yeah, I
So,
doubt it.
yeah, we got to be ready for him, man. I know he's going to be pissed off and want to play. And plus, on top of it, we swept them last year, too. To the secondary, I need Marlon Humphrey not to cover Jamar Chase in this one. He just doesn't have the speed, in my opinion, like he used to. I think Nate Wiggins is the best one on our defense to cover him. Of course, Kyle Hamilton can keep up with him too, but Kyle's been more of that linebacker. He's been playing that linebacker type role, blitzing a little bit more as of late. So I doubt we'll see Chase versus Hamilton much. Awuzie, I think he'll be solid as well. TJ Tampa, he's another one that can keep up with him. He's coming off an interception last week. Yeah, this Bengals team, they can still stay close in a lot of games. So it's got to be a group effort, in my opinion. We have one of the best punters in the business, man. I'll talk more about him a little bit a little bit more later in the show. Jordan Stout is his name. I don't want to see him out in this game, besides when he's a holder for Tyler Loop on them extra points, because we can't be punting the ball, man. We cannot be getting the ball back to Cincinnati at all. I know it's not going to happen, but I don't want to see it. So when he does punt, we need him inside the 10. He's very good at that, at knocking those teams, pushing them back. We also can't afford any missed tackles on special teams, man, especially on the kickoffs. I don't know why we just can't get this coverage right. The right guys out there, they're just missing tackles or what. We're just setting guys up. We're setting teams up at the 35, 40-yard line. Cannot give Joe Burrow a short field. He's that type of quarterback that will take advantage of it in a heartbeat. You'll blink your eye on first down. Like I mentioned to you, I think after our last show, we scored last year against Cincinnati. I think this was the second game. Kicked it off to him, ball at the 20, 25-yard line, something like that. First snap, Jamar Chase cross the middle, burns us for 70-some yards and a touchdown. It's those type of plays, man. We cannot shorten that field for them to give them even a more probability of scoring. So, yeah, I understand this is a must-win for us, and I think our team understands that as well. This is a divisional game. Win this game, we'll be 3-0 in the division. Lose this game, we'll be 2-1 heading into Pittsburgh week, and then having Cincinnati again 2 weeks from now in Cincinnati. So it's back to back to back for us with divisional games. I do, though, feel like Joe Burrow's going to throw an interception or two. Um, we have been having some success lately at picking the ball off. I think that'll be the difference in this one. Home teams do typically play good as well in these Thanksgiving primetime games over the years. So hopefully we continue with that success. Yeah, go Baltimore, beat Cincinnati. Ed, what do you feel like this game will be?
Well, it's good news for y'all, but bad news for the Bengals that T. Higgins looks
Yeah,
like he's not going to be playing this game.
yeah,
So that's one less weapon you got to worry about.
thank you.
There is a guy you might want to keep your eye on. I'm sure the Ravens are aware of him. There's a wide receiver named Mitchell Tinsley. He used to play for the Commanders. I think he was on our practice squad, or I think we might have dropped him last year, but he's not on our team anymore. He's with the Bengals, and it's pretty good from what I can tell. So I'm gonna keep an eye out for him because Commanders fans definitely could use all the wide receivers in the world right now, but ones that we had are flourishing on the other teams. But back to this game, I think y'all got a good chance of this, even though I do think Joe Burrow coming back is going to bring some juice to the whole team, not just the offense. I think the defense
Yep.
is going to get a boost as well. So, I mean, just the basics. Don't turn the ball over. You know, rally to the football, get the tackles. There's one thing you said too that I agree with. I kind of talked about it the last show as well when we did our preview. Is Keaton Mitchell? I would love to see a little bit more of Keaton Mitchell out there. I know he's like a year removed from his injury that he suffered last year. I think y'all need to let him get the ball rolling more, save Derrick Henry for when it's time to get into the postseason. I would love to see Keaton Mitchell just a little bit more. And I know Lamar has been dealing with some injuries himself. I think he practiced today after missing
Yes.
practice yesterday. I think he's dealing with like a toe injury now, but it was a
Yep.
toe, hamstring, ankle, all types of shit going on with Lamar. So take a little bit of stress off of him, maybe not, run with him as much. Give Keaton Mitchell some of those carries, and of course Derrick Henry. But the pass catchers, man, Zay Flowers looking at you, man. Gotta make some plays out there. Hopefully you get more involved too. And y'all should be able to win this game. Think y'all favored by 7 points. Hopefully y'all do that. I think y'all gonna get after Joe Burrow. And I'm not too worried about the Bengals defense, although they will make a play every now and then. As long as y'all don't
Yeah.
turn the ball over, I think y'all should handle the Bengals, especially without T. Higgins being out. But it's the NFL. You got to play the game and win the game. So we'll see what happens. And another thing, just, Chase Brown in a running game for the Bengals, because y'all still kind of, that's one thing what y'all defense I'm still kind of iffy on is y'all running defense. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if the Bengals get that going, all bets could be y'all. So, make sure y'all don't let that run game get going for the Bengals. I like y'all chances. But yeah, I'm leaning to y'all to win this game. Just, gotta play smart, no turnovers, and hopefully Lamar, because this is a short week, like you said, can get out of there unscathed and healthy and be ready for the rest of the gauntlet of the AFC North. But yeah, give me the Bengals. Give me the Ravens in this one. I think y'all should handle them, but we'll see how it goes.
And speaking of the defense, their best player, uh, Trey Hendrickson, who typically has a sack a game against us, he is out. So that is beneficial as well to us. So, yeah, looking forward to it for sure. I hope they don't spoil my Thanksgiving day and Thanksgiving evening and night as well. All right, back to week 12, everyone. This past weekend, we got some player awards. We're going to go with the offensive side of the field first. Ed, who you got?
I gotta give it to the guy who broke the single season receiving record for the Seahawks. JSN, 8 catches, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns. Is having a hell of a year. Definitely proved that he's a number one type receiver and one of the best receivers in Seahawks history so far with the season he's having. So I got to give it to Jackson Smith and Jigba as my offensive player of the week. How about you, sir?
Man, I know it was a losing effort, and I'm not a homer here, but Wandale Robinson,
Yeah.
he honestly looked like Malik Neighbors, JSN, and Jamar Chase out there all in one. 106 receiving yards in the first quarter, 156 on the day, 9 receptions and a touchdown. Very good game for him. I think him and Jameis Winston have a good connection. So hopefully, when Jackson Dart comes back, they can continue to build off that and grow at the wide receiver position because I think Jackson Dart tends to go to the tight ends a little bit more. So we'll see. Hopefully the wide receivers will continue to help their rookie quarterback when he comes back. Defensive side of the ball, who you got?
Actually, I want to switch this up. I want you to go first. I feel like we're gonna have the same player, so I want you to go first. Who's your
Yeah.
defensive player?
So my original pick was Geno Stone, former Ravens safety, plays for the Bengals now. Yeah, plays for
Yeah,
the Bengals. He had a pick six on Mac Jones. Pretty good play. It was like 40 yards out, to the
yeah.
house. Then came them late window games, man. A guy I've been telling y'all he the best pass rusher in the league. We probably got the same guy. I know a lot of people like Micah Parsons when he was with Dallas, but I've been dealing with Myles Garrett since whenever he was drafted. Um, 5 tackles, 4 tackles for losses, 6 quarterback hits, 3 sacks, and 2 forced fumbles. And then the forced fumbles, man, I didn't even catch it. Like when I was looking back at his stats, I went on ESPN.com, clicked on his name, and it said forced fumbles in the game, but nobody was talking about that. Of course, they're talking about the sacks. So when I was putting together my notes, I was like 2 forced fumbles, question mark. And I had to go back and look the next day. I looked yesterday, and sure enough, he had 2 forced fumbles. I was like, oh my God. Again, thank you, Jesus. We don't have to play them again this season. Go ahead, Myles Garrett, break your record. Do what you want to do for the rest of the year, and I'm on board with it. I'm cheering you on as a Ravens fan. My guy is a monster. Who you got?
Same, Myles Garrett. You
Yeah,
text me, you got another 3 sacks. I was like, for real? God damn, this dude, man. I honestly hope he breaks the record. I told you I
yeah.
wouldn't be surprised if he gets 30 sacks this year, the way
Sure.
he's been playing, man. I think those, additions you talk about Carson Swessinger, the linebacker, and the D tackle from Michigan, Graham. I think those guys really are helping him out as far as getting to the quarterback, just also applying pressure too. But Myles Garrett, you mentioned the stats, man. You mentioned the stats, but he's definitely my defensive player of the week as well.
And I was watching the Cowboys Eagles game on Fox or CBS, whatever network it was on, and then I had my laptop right next to me, and I had the other 3 games on ESPN.com, and legit every time I looked, the Browns had the ball in Raiders territory. They couldn't really do much with it, but I was like, damn, why they keep getting the ball back? And then I saw all that. So yeah, shout out to Myles Garrett. Special teams player of the week. Who you like?
I gotta give it to the Titans returner Chimere DK. He returned a punt for a touchdown against the Seahawks, 90 yards. I think this is his second return for a touchdown of the year. Good rookie, if I'm not mistaken. Chimere DK for the Tennessee Titans is having a pretty good year. So he's my special teamer of the week. How about you?
I'm gonna go with my guy, Jordan Stout. Again, one of the best punters in the league, if not, and I'm not even a homer here. He had a 74-yard punt in the second quarter. His very next punt came back with a 67-yarder, covered 246 yards on 4 punts all day. Man, I remember seeing that 70-some yarder, and I was like, wow. And he just nailed it. And the fans, you could even hear the wow because we were back at home, and it was, it's just amazing. Like I think I told you this before. I think our best 2 players outside of Kyle Hamilton this season have been Jordan Stout and Tyler Luke on special teams, the punter and kicker respectively. So yeah, Jordan Stout is my special team player. All right, bonehead player call of the week.
I gotta, even though they won the game, I gotta give the CD Lamb, man. I'm getting kind of tired of him dropping passes. Then you see him on the sideline.
Yeah,
I'm like, bro, like, what are you doing, man? You just make yourself look worse and worse. You could be blaming it on yourself, but for some reason, I got a feeling that he wasn't talking about him. I have a feeling that it was the pass. Oh man, come on. I feel like I could be completely wrong, and if I am, I'm sorry. Give the bonehead to me. But I just have a feeling that when he was on the sideline, having this little tantrum, I feel like he was talking about Dak in the placement of the ball when he had an easy touchdown and they hit him in the breadbasket in the
yeah,
end
right
zone
there. Yep.
that he dropped, and he go on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So CD Lamb, you my bonehead move of the week for that, man. Just get it together, man. Because I don't want for whatever reason you play the Cowboys. I mean, you play the Eagles. You got too much popcorn before the game or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with you. Got to get it together. Good thing y'all won, but George Pickens definitely looking like the #1 receiver right now for y'all.
Yeah.
What about you though, Brandon?
I'm gonna go with one of my guys. You know, when
Uh-oh.
we mess up, I'm gonna let y'all know. Okay, and then when we do good, I'm gonna give credit. Tyler Lue. I just mentioned he's probably one of the best kickers in the league. He had his fourth penalty for not getting the kickoff inside the landing zone. Okay, it was right after that Henry touchdown in the third quarter. Derrick Henry's I think second touchdown of the game. Crowd amped up, and that happens. Set them up in the 40-yard line, led to a field goal for them. Thank God it wasn't a touchdown. But he has the most violations in the National Football League for that. And then he had the audacity to frown up looking like Daniel Jones when Daniel Jones messes up, or Daniel Jones be seeing them Space Bunnies, Looney Tune characters all the time. Like, come on, bro. We had this issue with you in the first, I would say, 3 to 4 weeks. We thought we cleaned it up in the bye week and after, and then you go do it again, man. You know the damn rules. With all due respect, kickers, I could not do it. Uh, my kick probably wouldn't go 2 yards, but you have all practice, however many days a week, to do this type of stuff, to know the playbook, to know that you got to go a certain amount of yards. Like, come on, bro. It drives me crazy. We cannot do this against Cincinnati. We cannot do this against New England down the road. Green Bay, Pittsburgh. We can't do it against them. So he got to get it together. Tyler Lue, my bonehead play of the week.
Gotcha. All right, let's look at the rest of the scores that happened around the league for Week 12. Texans took down the Bills in Thursday Night Football, 23-19. Bears escaped with a 3-point win over the Steelers, 31-28. Patriots over the Bengals, 26-20. Packers dominated the Vikings, 23-6. Seahawks topped the Titans, 30-24. Titans gave them a little run for their money there. Y'all beat the Jets. The Ravens beat the Jets, 23-10. Browns beat the Raiders 24-10 behind 10 Cleveland sacks. Not all of those are Myles Garrett. Jaguars beat the Cardinals in overtime 27-24. Falcons destroyed their division rival, the Saints, 24-10. Cowboys overcame a 21-point deficit to win against the Eagles 24-21. The Cowboys hype train is full steam ahead now. Oh, Lord. And then the Rams take over first place in the NFC after stomping out the Bucks 34-7. Brandon, which of these games caught your eye the most?
Not a Cowboys fan, but they really put on a show after the first quarter. I was nervous because I picked them in my picks league, and they were down again, 21-0. Not much was going right, and then they got that first score, and I'm like, okay, well, at least they won't get shut out. I won't look like a complete clown, and then they came back and won it. So yeah, shout out to them. Browns Raiders, of course, Myles Garrett. It starts and stops there. Again, I'm so grateful that he will not break the sack record on us. I think the football gods had it in their plan because last year we played them week 18, and he did get the ended up topping Trey Hendrickson for the most sacks in the NFL last year because he got a couple on us last year in week 18. So again, thankful to the football gods for that schedule this year. Patriots Bengals, say what you want. That score 26-20. The Bengals, they're sticking around in a lot of games. You know what I'm saying? I do not think they'll have a direct path to the playoffs. I don't anticipate them going on a run. But again, you mentioned it with Joe Burrow coming back, he's going to probably boost the play of some of those players that, on both sides of the ball, including even special teams as well. And then last but not least, Bears Steelers. Thank you, Chicago. Again, y'all's beating the Steelers there by 3 helped elevate us into first place. I do think it would have been a little bit different if Aaron Rodgers was in there. Again, we know that he owns the Bears. Not sure if they would have won it. It was a close game, but I think it would have been a little bit different from their offensive standpoint. How about you? Any of these games caught your attention?
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that Jaguars Cardinal score. I think Trevor Lawrence threw 3 picks in that game. Didn't matter though. They came out with a win. So good for them. The AFC South, I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out because you got the Texans coming on full steam, Colts still hanging around, and then the Jaguars are hanging around as well. So that's going to be an interesting division to watch for the rest of the season. You talked about it too, that Cowboys Eagles game. They're getting healthy on the defensive side of the ball. They got one of their linebackers back, Overshow. He's really good running people down. He's really fast, sideline to sideline type of speed. Wish we had something like that with the Commanders. But definitely a good one for them. Like I said, that Cowboys hype train is full steam ahead. So Lord have mercy. I'm not looking forward to playing them either. And then definitely that I was surprised. I was kind of surprised by y'all game because it was a little closer than the score made it seem. But y'all were able to pull it out. Y'all did have Tyrod Taylor. Looked like he was running for his life some from the highlights I've seen. But I was kind of surprised. I thought y'all would handle them a little bit more easier than what the scores made it seem like y'all, handle them. But I want to say they ahead of some parts of that game. I can't remember, but the
they
score
went up
was a
early.
little closer for a while, and then y'all finally pulled away. So that was kind of surprising to me. But yeah, definitely those games, the Jets, Ravens game, and the Cardinals, Jaguars games too. For me.
And I forgot the score of the Monday Night Football game, y'all. Panthers fell to the 49ers 20-9 in Santa Clara as well.
Yeah, I had a feeling Bryce Young and the Panthers would kind of do something like that. It was kind of like turnover back and forth between the two for a little bit there in the first half. Joe Horn had 2 interceptions, but Niners a little bit more talented. Christian McCaffrey had another good day out there, and they got the job done.
Sure. All right, want to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving. We got plenty of football on Thursday and Friday this week. Love this time of year because got to get to see a little bit more games on Friday and Saturday, a couple more weeks from now. But anyway, this week, Packers and Lions on Fox. That's the first one. Chiefs and Cowboys on CBS. Bengals and Ravens on NBC. Black Friday, you got Bears and Eagles. A lot to look forward to. Again, please take a moment, hit the subscribe button on your screen. Follow us on X at Podcast B&E and on IG at B&E Podcast. We'll be back on Saturday, preview several other Week 13 games and recap the Thanksgiving slate of games as well. Thanks for watching, everyone. Until next time, love one another.
Peace.